The text arrived at 8:13 p.m. on a Friday night. I was sitting on my couch in my tiny apartment in Tacoma, eating leftover Thai food straight from the container, when my phone buzzed against the wood of my coffee table. I picked it up, read the message, then read it again. Hey, Mom's retirement party is next Saturday. Don't come. You'll just embarrass us. Love you, though. My sister. My older sister, Brooke. The golden child. The one who had never worked a full-time job in her life, but somehow always had a new handbag, a new car, a new vacation photoshopped onto her Instagram. I stared at those words for a long time. Don't come. You'll just embarrass us. Not, we'll miss you. Not, let's talk. Just erase me. Like I was a typo they were correcting. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I didn't text back. Instead, I got up, walked to my closet, and pulled out a green file folder I'd been adding to for 3 years. Inside that folder were bank statements, screenshots, text message threads, receipts for things I'd paid for, emails where my mother asked for money, recorded phone calls where my sister lied about being broke. 132 pages of evidence. And on Saturday, at my mother's retirement party, I was going to read every single one of them out loud. But they had no idea what I was about to do. Before I continue, I need to ask you something. Have you ever been the family member who does everything right, pays the bills, shows up, keeps the peace, and still gets treated like the problem? If yes, hit like and subscribe right now. Andrea's Revenge Stories is for every woman who has been told she's too much or too difficult, simply because she refused to be invisible anymore. Where are you watching from tonight? Drop your city in the comments. I'm recording this from a coffee shop in Tacoma, Washington, and I promise you, by the end of this story, you'll understand why I don't answer group texts anymore. And if you've ever been uninvited from a family event because you embarrass them, comment uninvited so I know you're my people. Let's get into it. My name is Natalie. I'm 34 years old. I grew up in Olympia, Washington, in a gray, rain-streaked house on a street called Evergreen Lane. My mother, Karen, was a high school English teacher for 32 years. My father left when I was 9. Ran off with a woman he met at a bowling alley. After that, it was just me, my mother, and my older sister, Brooke. Brooke is 2 years older than me, blonde, tall, the kind of girl who teachers loved and boys followed around like puppies. I was the opposite, quiet, studious, always with my nose in a book, always trying to be smaller so I wouldn't take up too much space. Here's the thing about being the easy child. Nobody notices you're drowning because you never make noise. When I was 12, I won a writing contest, first place in the entire county. I came home waving the certificate, and my mother said, "That's nice, honey. Brooke just made varsity cheerleading. We're going out for ice cream to celebrate." When I was 16, I worked 2 jobs, a grocery store and a diner, so I could buy my own car. Brooke got a brand new Honda Civic for her 16th birthday. I got a bus pass and a good luck. When I graduated high school with a 3.9 GPA, my mother said, "We're so proud of you." Then she handed me a stack of student loan paperwork and said, "You'll figure it out." Brooke dropped out of community college after 1 semester. My mother co-signed an apartment for her, paid her rent for 2 years. I should have seen the pattern then, but I was too busy trying to be enough. I put myself through college. University of Washington, Tacoma. Accounting degree. I worked nights at a warehouse, weekends at a retail store, and somehow still graduated with honors. By 25, I was a staff accountant at a mid-sized firm. By 28, I'd been promoted twice. By 30, I was making $92,000 a year.
But I still lived like I made 30. My apartment was a 400-square-foot studio with a Murphy bed and a kitchen so small I could cook and wash dishes at the same time. I drove a 2010 Ford Focus with a dent in the rear bumper and a heater that only worked on the highest setting. My coworkers thought I was cheap. My friends thought I was saving for a house. The truth was simpler and sadder. I was saving because I thought if I had enough money, my family would finally respect me. I was wrong. The requests started small, of course. They always do. My mother called one Tuesday in March. "Natalie, the furnace died. It's going to be $4,000 to replace it. Could you help? Just this once." I transferred her the money. A month later, Brooke called. "My car broke down. I can't get to work. Can you lend me $2,000? I'll pay you back next week." I never saw that money again. 6 months later, my mother again. "I'm short on property taxes. Just $3,000. I'll pay you back when I get my refund." I kept a spreadsheet. By the time I was 32, I had given my family $47,000. $47,000. And what did I get in return? A thank you text here and there. A Christmas card with my name misspelled. A seat at the kids' table during Thanksgiving while Brooke and her husband sat with the adults. But I kept giving, because that's what the good daughter does. The good daughter doesn't say no. The good daughter keeps the family together. The good daughter is also a fool. The turning point came in July of last year. My mother announced she was retiring after 32 years of teaching. The school was throwing her a party, a big one. Catered food, a live band, a photo slideshow. She was beaming. "Natalie," she said on the phone, "I need you to help with the planning. Brooke is handling the guest list and the decorations, but I need someone to manage the budget." I agreed. Of course I agreed. I spent the next 3 months coordinating vendors, comparing prices, negotiating discounts. I found a venue for half the original cost. I negotiated the catering down by $1,500. I created spreadsheets, tracked every expense, and sent weekly updates to my mother and Brooke. And every time I sent an update, Brooke replied with something like, "Looks great. Mom, can we upgrade the flower arrangements? Natalie can cover the difference." Or, "Natalie, the band wants a deposit. Can you Venmo them? I'll pay you back." She never paid me back. By the time September arrived, I had personally paid for the venue deposit, $2,500. The band's sound equipment rental, $800. The extra flower arrangements, $600. The photographer's second shooter, $400. The custom cake topper Brooke insisted on, $150. Total out of my pocket, just over $4,500. On top of everything I'd already given them over the years. And I still wasn't the one being celebrated. I was just the wallet with legs. A week before the retirement party, I texted the family group chat. It was a simple message. Hey everyone, just confirming the timeline for Saturday. I'm planning to arrive at 3 p.m. to help set up. Let me know if anything changes. My mother replied with a heart emoji and a thumbs up. Brooke replied with a private message. Direct to me, not in the group chat. That's when my phone buzzed at 8:13 p.m. on a Friday night. I still have the screenshot. Let me read it to you exactly. Hey, Mom's retirement party is next Saturday. Don't come. You'll just embarrass us. Love you, though. I stared at those words for 10 minutes. Maybe longer. I thought about the $47,000 I'd given them. I thought about the $4,500 I'd spent on this party. I thought about every birthday they forgot, every achievement they ignored, every time I showed up and was treated like a stranger. Then I thought about the green file folder in my closet, the one with 132 pages of evidence. I typed back, "Why would I embarrass you?" 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. Then, you know how you get, all emotional and dramatic. Mom wants a nice day. Just stay home. I'll tell everyone you had to work. All emotional and dramatic.
Those words, those 4 words, they had been used against me my entire life. Every time I stood up for myself, every time I pointed out an injustice, every time I refused to be quiet. I was not dramatic. I was done. I didn't respond. I turned off my phone, opened the green folder, and started making copies. I didn't sleep that night. I sat at my kitchen table with a cup of cold coffee and my laptop, organizing everything. Bank statements, Venmo receipts, screenshots of text messages, emails, even a voice memo I'd recorded of my mother saying, "Natalie, you're so good with money. Brooke just isn't. We have to help her." I printed everything, 3 copies, one for me, one for my lawyer, yes, I had already consulted one, and one for the party. At 6 a.m., I showered. I put on a simple black dress, nothing fancy, but nothing apologetic either. I straightened my hair. I put on the pearl earrings my grandmother had left me before she died. And at 2 p.m., I drove to the retirement party. The venue was a community hall in downtown Olympia. Red brick building, string lights, a banner that said, "Congratulations, Mrs. Harris, 32 years." I parked across the street, sat in my car for 5 minutes, watched people file in, my mother's colleagues, former students, neighbors, family friends. Then I saw Brooke. She was standing by the entrance, greeting guests, wearing a cream-colored dress that probably cost more than my rent. She was laughing, hugging people, playing the perfect hostess. She didn't see me. I got out of the car, walked across the street. My heels clicked on the pavement. Click, click, click. And I walked right past Brooke without saying a word. She turned. Her face went pale. "Natalie, what are you? I told you not to." I kept walking. The party was already in full swing. About 80 people. Catered food. A live band playing soft jazz. My mother was at the center of it all, holding a glass of champagne, wearing a sequined blazer, laughing with her friends. When she saw me, her smile flickered. "Natalie, you came. I thought you had to work." Brooke had already lied for me. Of course she had. I smiled back. No, Mom, I wouldn't miss this. I handed her a gift bag. Inside was a card, and inside the card was a single piece of paper. She pulled it out, read it. Her smile disappeared. What is this? She asked, her voice confused. That's a summary, I said, loud enough for the people around us to hear. $47,000. That's how much I've given you and Brooke over the past 5 years. And then another $4,500 for this party. The band kept playing, but the conversation around us started to quiet. My mother's face turned red. Natalie, this isn't the time or place. You're right, I said. The time was 5 years ago when you asked for the first $4,000 for the furnace, but you never paid me back. None of you did. Brooke appeared at my mother's side. Natalie, stop! You're embarrassing us. This is exactly what I was talking about. I turned to face her, and for the first time in my life, I didn't lower my voice. Embarrassing you? I said, my voice carrying across the room. Let me tell you what's embarrassing, Brooke. I pulled out my phone, opened the screenshots folder. Embarrassing is asking your sister for $12,000 for fertility treatments when you were really paying off a credit card from a trip to Hawaii. Brooke's face drained of color. Embarrassing is telling Mom you need $5,000 for medical bills when you were really buying a designer handbag. The room was completely silent now. Even the band had stopped playing. Embarrassing is texting me, "Don't come to the party, you'll embarrass us," and then telling everyone I had to work. I pulled up the text message and held my phone up so the people closest to us could see it. Don't come, you'll just embarrass us. Love you, though. A woman in the back gasped. A man coughed. Someone whispered, "Oh my God." My mother was shaking. Natalie, please, you're destroying this party. I looked at her. Really looked at her. And then I said something I had never said out loud before. Mom, I've been destroying myself for this family for 15 years, and you never noticed because you were too busy looking at Brooke. Tears started rolling down my mother's face. Real tears this time, not performance tears. Brooke grabbed my arm. Get out, now. I shook her off. No. I said get out! And I said no. You don't get to tell me to leave anymore. I paid for this party. I paid for your car. I paid for your rent. I paid for your lies. And now, I'm done paying. I turned to face the crowd. 80 people, all staring. I'm not here to ruin anything. I'm here to tell the truth. And the truth is, I've been the family ATM for 5 years. And yesterday, the machine stopped working. I set my phone down on the table next to the cake. Enjoy the party. The food is paid for. The band is paid for. The flowers are paid for. By me. And then I walked out. Behind me, I could hear my mother sobbing. I could hear Brooke screaming. I could hear 80 people whispering. I didn't look back. But that wasn't the end. Walking out of that party was the beginning of something much bigger. Because 2 days later, I got a call from a lawyer. Not my lawyer, Brooke's lawyer. She was suing me for defamation, claimed I had falsely accused her and damaged her reputation. She sued me after everything I had done for her, after $47,000, after years of lies. She sued me. That's when I decided, no more playing nice. I hired Catherine, the same ruthless lawyer I'd consulted months earlier. I brought her the green folder. all 132 pages. Catherine reviewed everything. Then she looked at me and said, "Do you want to settle?" "No," I said. "I want to countersue." "For what?" "Fraud, misrepresentation, unjust enrichment." We filed the countersuit 3 weeks later. The discovery process was brutal. Brooke had to hand over her bank statements, her credit card bills, her travel records. Everything I had suspected for years was confirmed. That trip to Hawaii? $8,000 on a credit card. The medical bills? $3,200 at a luxury boutique. The car repairs? She bought a new iPhone and AirPods. And my mother? She knew. She had co-signed Brooke's credit card. She had made payments behind my back. She had lied to me for years. The case never went to trial. Brooke's lawyer advised her to settle. She had to pay back $32,000, a fraction of what she owed, but enough to hurt. And she had to sign a statement admitting that her claims of defamation were false. But the real revenge wasn't the money. The real revenge was what happened at my mother's house 3 weeks after the party. My mother called me. She was crying. Again. "Natalie, please come over. We need to talk." I went. Not because I wanted to, because I needed to close a door. I walked into that gray, rain-streaked house on Evergreen Lane. The same house where I had been overlooked, dismissed, and used for 34 years. My mother was sitting on the couch. Brooke was there too. She wouldn't look at me. "Sit down," my mother said. I didn't sit. "Natalie, we're sorry. We didn't mean to hurt you." I looked at her. "Didn't mean to?" I said. "Mom, you asked me for money 73 times. You never paid back a single dollar. You let Brooke lie to me for years. You knew about the fertility treatment lie. You knew about the credit card, and you still asked me for more." She opened her mouth, closed it. Brooke finally looked up. "I said I was sorry." "No," I said. "You said you were sorry you got caught." I walked to the front door, turned around one last time. "I'm not going to hate you. I'm not going to keep fighting. I'm not even going to ask for the rest of the money. But I am going to walk out that door, and I'm not going to come back." My mother stood up. "Natalie, you can't just watch me." I walked out, got in my car, and drove away. That was 7 months ago. Here's what I've learned. You cannot buy love. You cannot earn respect. And you cannot make someone see your worth if they are determined to look the other way. I spent 15 years trying to be the perfect daughter, the reliable one, the one who showed up with money, with help, with patience. And all it got me was a text telling me not to come to a party I paid for. Today, I live in a small house in Tacoma. I have a garden. I have 2 cats. I have friends who show up for me. My mother still calls sometimes. I let it go to voicemail. Brooke sends a text on holidays. I don't respond. The family narrative, I'm told, is that I had a breakdown and went no contact for no reason. That's fine. Let them tell that story. I know the truth, and the truth is in the green folder. The strange thing about being the family ATM? Nobody notices you're human until the machine stops working. And by then, it's too late to insert your card. If you've made it this far, thank you for listening to my story. I want to know, would you have walked into that party? Would you have read those receipts out loud? Or would you have stayed home like your sister asked? Comment Team Receipts if you think I did the right thing. Comment Team Peace if you think I should have just walked away without the speech. And if you've ever been uninvited from a family event because you embarrassed them, comment Uninvited. I read every single comment. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Andrea's Revenge Stories. We post new stories every week about boundaries, justice, and the quiet power of walking away. And if you want to hear what happened next, because yes, Brooke tried to sue me again, click the video on your screen right now. It's called "My Sister Sued Me for Embarrassing Her, so I Countered with 132 pages of receipts." And trust me, you don't want to miss it. I'm Natalie. This has been Andrea's Revenge Stories. Remember, the strongest boundaries aren't loud. They're calm, they're final, and they're unshakable.